Can you hear me? Jasper is loud and weird. Erik much less so. No sound. Am I too loud then? Am I too loud then? Is that the case?
You were always too loud, but
I'm
that's
always
okay.
too loud.
That's
Oh
why you
man.
have a talk show and I don't.
It's everybody look away, people. Look away. Just look away right now. Okay, now you can look again. Anyway, wow, for a month now the tables have turned. Ha ha ha. TV has all the technical problems. Thank you.
It's every show where I'm in, there's always technical problems.
Yeah, it's Erik's fault.
Yeah.
The other thing is, thank you, Esner, for the subscription, a tier 2 subscription. And
Tier 2?
he's
Oh, wow.
subscribed for 5 months now, so that's great as well. And everything is excellent now, so we're on the show, Erik.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hi, Jasper. How are you doing, man?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm very fine. Actually, as you have started to ask the question, do you want to be my host? Because recently other people tried to be the host on my show.
No, I'm not that talkative. So if you do all the talking, I'll just do some quick answers and then we can wrap up the show, just like usual.
Yeah, like 15 minutes in and we are out. Yeah. So how are you doing, Erik?
Yeah, I'm fine. Currently very busy with art requests from Roger. So if you guys want to see awesome art, always watch The Precipice of Dreams. Or awesome art. That's very haughty of me to say of my own art, but
so you're an awesome art maker then?
No. I'm just a humble art maker.
Okay. Woohoo! Early bed, says Ashley. Well, yeah, you know. So yeah, this a new episode of Talking Void. With Erik, and we are going into some announcements first because the spoilers are being seen on the screen, I think. So let's see if I can do this right and go to the big answer screen with Erik. Still moving, but can we still hear you? That's the question now. Can you talk?
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you. So that's okay. Do you see the big answer screen? That's because.
Yeah.
That's because. Baba. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can't see what's beneath it though. So
Oh yeah, let's
it's just
see.
Dave and Jasper.
Yeah, let's see if I can make this a bit smaller. Put it a little bit more into the center, and then go back to the studio. And there we have it, people. We'll be, or at least I am going to be, on Careful Cantrip's world building show that they host on Sunday with Dungeon Master Dave of Careful Cantrip as the host. He does a great job designing stuff. I'll be on his show. We'll be talking about world building and stuff, but I won't be the only guest. But I think it's up to them to announce the other guests. I think this will be great because I love Careful Cantrip. I love the people there, and we have a great connection. And I'm hoping that we can have the smiles that you see on the awesome art that Erik made for us, or Erik made for us, that we can maintain them, or sustain them, or concentrate on them, and don't have to make any concentration checks or constitution saving throws, however you want to call it, through the whole show. But I think that won't be a problem, right?
Okay. Well, this will be Dave's most chaotic show ever, so
yeah,
you should all watch it.
Yeah, he's very how do you say?
Neat and tidy.
Orderly.
Yeah,
much more orderly than I am, I think. But yeah, so watch us on Sunday at 6 p.m. I think that's the right time. We tried to calculate, and although calculus is one of my main great stuff thingies, it went a bit strange in my mind today. So let's see if we are indeed on air at 6 p.m. on Careful Cantrip's channel, which of course we will be hosting in some way. Then the other thing is, because there's even more coming.
Wow.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and then we're going to we have the big answer screen here, and then we're going to put a small answer on the big answer screen, because on the next Talking Void, which will be the 2nd of March, we will have a guest as well. And this time it will be community leader Mike. Now you might ask, who is community leader Mike? And he is a community leader at GaryCon, which is like the big American event where the Gary Gygax, his sons took over. Put up a convention in his name after he died, like 13 years ago. And Dave is Mike is a community leader there, and he answered one of our TV questions, and we put that into our show. And then he contacted me, and he will be on our show, which is great.
Awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of things in store for us in the next couple of days. And on that show, Roger will be my host instead of Jin. Normally it would have been Jin, but Roger will be my guest, I mean.
Oh, wow. 2 Dungeon Masters.
Yeah. So let's have some fun. And then the other things is next Monday, which I'm looking so forward to, I have to say, is the next Precipice of Dreams episode. We are in a bit of pickle, and I hope we can get out of that. And then the Tuesday after that will be the 3rd episode of Jasper's Laboratory. Yeah, I've decided to say it that way, so you all know what it's about. And then the Monday after that at 8:30, there will be another Parallel Projections, and then Tuesday it will be Mike on our show. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. Man, what an event calendar.
So if you have missed us in all of those days, man, you didn't watch us. You didn't watch YouTube and Twitch at all.
Yeah,
because we're everywhere.
We are everywhere. We are everywhere on the internet. We are like mass producing content and stuff. And that's we're having a lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome news, Jasper.
Thanks.
A lot of awesome content coming.
Yeah. And do our socials. Please follow us. Please follow us on Twitch. That's what I wanted to say. Possibly go throw your Prime our way. If not, you can subscribe anyway and give us lots of money, but only if you like us, because otherwise, please don't, because then we are not worthy of your attention. And we only want to make great content, so if we suck, that's up to us. And do the same on YouTube. Like, subscribe, ring that bell, comment, help us become bigger. We are growing, but we could certainly use your help. And, thanks for joining us this evening, I think, as well. And we have a link tree, that's right. And with the link tree, you can follow us on all things Talking Void.
You can find the link to Linktree in the chat now.
Link to Linktree in the chat. Discord, Reddit, which is still starting up. Insta, Facebook,
I believe even Twitter.
And Discord is getting more lively these days. Thanks to Ashley as well, by the way, because he's hosting a game there, and the community is growing there as well. So just join us and have lots of fun. Of fun. Well, that's a long introduction, don't you think?
It's a very long introduction. Let's go on to the show.
Indeed. Let's go on to the show. We are back, man.
Yeah, now
I
listen
must
to
have
Jasper
have a
at
case of
candlelight.
Michelle today because I don't know what's happening. Let's drink some coffee, stay awake, right? So this evening we'll be doing Precipice first, and the main topic after that.
Yeah.
Because I just want to discuss the Precipice of Dreams with dear Mr. Erik, who's my guest on the show. He's the guy sitting in the other seat, and yeah,
The gray one.
the gray one. Well, the gray one, when it comes to wizards and stuff, is pretty cool, right? It's better than
Yeah,
brown.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
So
let's go.
let's discuss the endless swamp and change of the past. Chains
Cha-
of the past.
Chains of the past.
Chains, not change.
Yeah, oh man,
Chains.
what a
Chains
session!
of the
What a
past.
session did we have last time, man? Oh man!
Chains of the past.
Oh, you're still doing your chains thing.
Yeah, what a session it was, Erik.
What a session it was.
How did you
What
feel
do you-
afterwards?
Well, I didn't sleep for another 2 hours, so that's a good thing. That means I had quite a lot of fun. So yeah, I was all pumped up on adrenaline, and it was such an awesome session. Such an awesome session to play, and Roger, he made such an awesome adventure for us. So I'm really excited what he has in store for us next, because I really love the well, not dream sequences, but the out of reality sequences, or what do we call them?
Yeah, hallucination. I don't know.
Hallucination sequences. Yeah,
Well, there are a lot of mushrooms, so it might have been hallucinations.
yeah.
The thing I
Yeah,
was
and
asking myself, did it really trigger on when we entered that cavern system, or will we discover that there was an in-between period where something other happened as something else happened as well?
I do think that we trip something up with the mushrooms, because there are mushrooms all over the swamp. So maybe they added to the hallucinogenic effects. So yeah, that's my theory about behind it. But let us know what you guys think. Everyone that saw the stream.
Yeah,
I did really love all these different mini episodes within the episode. Roger really tailored them to all our backstories, and that's he did such a fantastic job on that.
yeah, truly. So,
Truly.
chat. Instead of having questions prepared, like I normally do for the Precipice of Dreams, feel free to ask us any questions. It might be specifically directed at Erik or Jasper or Bowen or Thomas. We don't care that much. It's cool to always ask Bowen because he's here every TV episode. But if you want to ask Thomas as something as well, then it's okay. You could even ask Kiss something if you want. Although he will probably say "woohoo" or something. Right? So feel free to let that chat scroll. Yeah, so, and what chat has to know, I think, or at least we weren't prepared at all. We had no idea what was going to happen. And
No.
there were a lot of stages leading up to that point, which I wanted to discuss with you, because I think it's already started when we were going into the swamp, that there was this build-up of things that, we were on the precipice, so to say, of greater things to come.
Yeah, we were because
Well, the first question is there. I will hold on to that one for a little while, because. But thank you for the question. Hey, you missed the introduction. Careful, cantrip.
oh no,
And,
it's
you
it's
can see it
on the screen.
sliding below the screen at some intervals. Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh, because when we were going towards the swamp, we already had Oddleaf at a... Well, she wasn't quite... she was stressed.
She was very stressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Oddleaf Oddleaf talked a lot about the encountering a hag before, and I think that played a lot into previous session because she was the most nervous of all going into the swamp,
Yeah.
and really the rage of the hag. Well, the and spoilers here for everyone that hasn't seen the episode. But really, the whole hag encounter ended with Oddleaf whipping her ass. Or sorry, can I say ass on stream? Yeah, I can say ass on stream.
It's a body part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
whooping her ass.
Yeah.
So I think, Oddleaf had a really, really big part to play in last session.
Yeah, I think so as well. If I see it as a sequence, it was first the stress of Oddleaf, then we came into this swamp and we saw the warden that was downed, which was, I thought that was kind of ominous in a way.
Yeah.
We had the skeleton even before that part, right? Which we might have thought of was the warden, but then wasn't. Yeah. Then we had the warden. Yeah. Okay, talk.
Yeah, because at first I thought the big skeleton was the warden, and then after we encountered the warden, it didn't click that was the warden in the first couple of minutes, and you guys thought it was pretty obvious, but only after the face changing shapes, then I got to realize we were talking to a warden at that point.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then we had our first random encounter, which was pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't random though, but it was a harsh encounter. I really thought we were going to die there, and then I was thinking, man, if this is as hard as it's gonna get right now, what are we up against next?
Yeah, I actually think that Roger forgot that we were only level 3 at that point. So
yeah, I think so too. He must have, right?
Man,
yeah,
we almost got killed there. So.
Yeah.
And Roger is really a master at balancing encounters because, well, we were all at I was at 1 hit point almost the entire encounter and went down a couple of times, but man, that was heavy.
I think I ended at 2 hit points myself with just 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was 16, the second one was 6.
Yeah. Yeah, these creatures really did a number on us.
Yeah, and I felt quite lucky that the hag didn't join or take over any other Spriggans after in the last couple of rounds that we played last session, because that might have ended us pretty harshly. Yeah.
But the hag encounter is one of the most awesome encounters I had in my whole entire D&D career. So I really love the way it played out. It played on our emotions, on our past, on our character weaknesses. So that was so awesome and awesome to play. So.
Yeah, so let's go into the question that's been asked in chat then. How much of Thomas' sequence was from your prepared notes and how much was Roger's reading between the lines? Or between lines?
So by prepared notes you mean backstory? Because Roger really dipped into my backstory right there. I don't prepare anything for streams at all, so I'm just here bumbling about. But yeah, the backstory, he really did dive into my backstory, and he did that a couple of times during the Precipice of Dreams, and really last session, he really dipped into the backstory. And yeah, it played out so awesome, and at the same time it was really hard to play because I'm working with a trauma for Thomas, and yeah, it was really hard to play that emotion because I have never experienced anything like that myself. So was really hard tapping into that emotion for that character. But well, it was really awesome. I think it played out, just the way it was supposed to.
It's well, it's okay that you're saying that you've never experienced that before yourself, because I'm hoping you haven't.
No.
But that's an interesting point, because well, as you're having your problems, Audrey is having her problems, Solwing is having his problems, but in a kind of more worldly fashion, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
I think he's got more external problems than internal problems, possibly. And then, well, I obviously have my internal problems as well. And I think
well, boy, you think.
and I think we've all chosen kind of harsh things to deal with, which we might not have dealt with ourselves.
Well, exactly. And we all have. I think we all have quite interesting backstories that you can see in the last session. There's a lot more to these characters than we told during our previous episodes. So I think there's a lot more to discover about every character.
Well, I'm about done. I have no more tricks up my sleeve.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah. A pretty two-dimensional character.
Yeah.
Meaning that he's in 2 dimensions. Anyway, no. But, yeah, I love...
Thank you, Careful Cantrip, for your compliment.
Esner says, some sessions ago, was it during TV, there was discussion that sometimes players don't get the hint that the situation is just too hard for them. So naturally, our beloved party pushed ahead after nearly being wiped out. Yeah, well, that was the strangest part, I think, about... Well, the strangest part was the ending of the episode, but when we took our rest in the watery hole in the hill, and then we just... I don't know if I will ever do that again. Just walk into a lair in that way,
Yeah,
I think I said it
really
on stream. If my players would do this, I would probably punish them for it.
Yeah.
But there was this certain point where, and I think Michelle commented on this as well, where we saw all those brigands and we just wanted to turn back, but everybody was invisible.
We really Leroy Jenkins the situation. Just go in. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, it's a kind of reverse Leroy Jenkins, though.
Yeah. It's not that he's going to cancel the show. So what's the way?
Yeah, well, that's the thing as well. I so hope to never die on stream.
Yeah. Then again, parallel projections. Your playthrough also went entirely different from what you expected. So I don't think we're as invulnerable as we might think in Roger's adventure.
Parallel projections playthrough?
Yeah, your parallel projections playthrough ended with Planescape.
Where
you ascended the throne, and well. It wasn't even halfway through the game, so...
No, that's true. Yeah, we're doing things...
So, weird things can happen on our streams, people.
Yeah.
And we might die.
Yeah. But we are really good at stealth as a party.
Yeah, that was really... I also run a D&D campaign, and I've never seen so much successful stealth rolls in sequence... in my life. So wow, that was really well done.
Yeah, I could have even made it better with a spell, but I forgot.
Bowen and Thomas rolled the best of the lot, so
yeah, and Audrey and Solwing kind of switched.
Yeah, switch. Yeah, well, we just out-stealthed them, so yeah.
Yeah, well, at the tryouts I was rolling very badly. And at the tryouts, I mean, when we were trying to enter the marsh stealthily, or the swamp stealthily, and when we were going towards the hex lair, then I rolled very badly. I think I rolled an 8 and a 13 or something. And then when we entered, the rolls went up quite high. Michelle is asking, I have a question. How did you experience odd backstory? What do you think it all means?
It was very odd.
It was very odd. It was so odd.
It was odd.
It was very odd.
How did I experience Oddleaf's backstory? I think it raised more questions than answers, so that's my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm really curious now about Oddleaf's backstory. I have an idea what kind of I want to say race, but well, I'll say race and stream now. Species Oddleaf is now, because I've played one myself. But the rest of Oddleaf's backstory is one big mystery for me. Also because I still haven't seen the whole Oddleaf's ordeal episode yet.
You haven't?
No, I've just seen 1 hour and 20 minutes of it, so I still have like 60 minutes to go. But
Erik.
I like to be surprised during streams, so that's my excuse.
Okay. So what I liked about it is that it kind of put things in perspective for Jasper as the player of Bowen, because I had this sense of a corrupting power, but I don't know now. It feels like a supporting power right now. I mean, if someone tells you you will never be a slave, these chains connect instead of shackle, then it sounds pretty positive in a way, even though the chains that I've seen so far, well,
my theory for the whole Precipice of Dreams is that Adon is an evil god, a dark elder god. That's my theory. Yeah, that's my theory. And Oddleaf will be will deliver a new god into play, but that's what I think is going to happen, and I will be completely wrong, but that's where I think it's going to.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you could be right. And I'm dreading this Adon suggestion so much. I so hope that isn't the case, because I just want to be a follower of a good god, man.
No. Jay's really going to pull one over you, because
I think so. But maybe he'll surprise me in the reverse way, you know.
Yeah. What really surprised me during the episode is that I actually have more sympathy for Dark Bowen now, or Bowen Shadowheart, than his counterpart Bowen Goodheart.
Who really? You have that?
I really have more sympathy now for Shadowheart than Goodheart, because really Shadowheart has always lived in his shadow and has always been suppressed. And
you even call him Shadowheart instead of Darkheart, which is pretty funny.
Oh, you're sure Darkheart, Shadowheart.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. But it's really so interesting that the first time we meet, Dark Bowen or Bowen Darkheart, Shadowheart, whatever. I really disliked the character. I love what you did with it, but Thomas really disliked the character, and now I'm seeing a very different side from of that Bowen, and a very different side of the good Bowen, or the regular Bowen, or
the most regular Bowen of them all. So well, let me first go into, but I have seen your question in chat, Careful Cantrip, so I'll be answering that. But it's nearly going up the top of the chat right now, so I love playing them both, I must say. But the thing is, the kind of backlash that Bowen Goodheart is getting from the party is far more extreme than I would have ever thought. Because he really tries his best, right? And then this Bowen he's a sack of misery, right? And he's
Well, but he's a lovable sack of misery. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
uh,
I do have one question, and then we can continue with the other questions. But do you regret the voice?
No, I don't. Although for some reason, sometimes I feel that I'm mimicking Trump a bit, which is bothers me sometimes. And then,
let's not get political on stream.
no, let's
But
not
okay.
get political. But I must say, when I'm doing longer dialogues, that it's sore on my throat. I have to find a manner to produce the same sound, but with less strain on my throat.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, because I remember doing a dwarf in one of your adventures with a really high-pitched voice, which I thought was really funny until I did whole dialogues in that high-pitched voice
That was a funny character.
for 5 sessions or for 3 or sessions or something. So that was I really regretted doing that after a while. But
Yeah. So let's go to Careful Cantrip's question. Do all the cast members run separate games?
yeah,
No. Well, not run them. Because Jin doesn't run a campaign.
Oh, no.
But he's
doesn't.
part of... I have... should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have 3 campaigns, which I'm the dungeon master of, which is... all 3 are set. 2 are set in my Dark Earth campaign, which I've mentioned on Jasper's Laboratory as well, and 1 is set in my Urtur campaign, and they're quite different types of worlds. 2 of them have gone on for 9 years and are at a bi-weekly schedule, and the other one is nearing its the end of its 3rd year, but it's at a monthly schedule. Currently, I'm on a hiatus with the bi-weekly ones and still continuing the monthly one. And Roger and Erik are in one of my campaigns, in the Urtur one, in which, you play a Battle Rager.
Yeah, a Battle Rager, Dwarf Battle Rager.
Yeah, my own homebrew kind of Battle Rager, not the silly barbarian path, because I very much dislike that and don't get the right feelings when I see that class. And then Roger plays a rogue fighter battle master, and a rogue swashbuckler.
And he has a rapier. He always carries a rapier.
Don't say that. He will feel sad. No, he dislikes that. And he's using short swords. Oh, he's using a staff. He started off with short swords. And both my longer running campaigns started as Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 and then evolved into 5th edition. One because of a party wipe, and the other because we just love doing that. Now
Careful Cantrip wants to see your Battle Rage homebrew someday.
I will be doing that. I will probably be releasing it for... it's on my website. You can look it up there.
Yeah.
There you go. There are a couple of things up there. And the thing I'm playing with Bowen, I will probably release on the Dungeon Master Guild, but with... I will not be asking money for it, but you may donate if you want.
Okay,
awesome. Cool.
So you made the Bowen the Bowen class. So it's one of your famous. Damn it! I forgot the names, but the famous void classes.
Yeah, Bowen is I can tell you right now, because I think it will become apparent in the next session when we'll have another surprise for you. But he's a Void Disciple.
Yeah. Awesome.
And he's my own take on the Void Disciple. The funny thing is, I've been working on Void Disciples for a long time, and then when I finally built the 3.5 version of it, then this module came. I think it was Complete Divine or something, and it had Void Disciples in it, and they were so different from my take on it that I thought, nah, And I really love my own one. So, and the channel is Voidcast. It's called Voidcast. Yeah. Well, there's another whole other history to that as well. Getting a bit off track, but do you want to say what games you play?
I play in your campaign. So I played in your campaign, but now it's we're on a short break. It's a bit too much to play a couple of campaigns a week and still have a social life and do Voidcast. So Jasper decided together with the group that we'll take a break for a while.
Yeah.
I currently run a one-shots campaign, although it started as a one-shot campaign, but it derailed, and now we're in Barovia. But I am a very lazy DM, so as you can see in the background, I have all the D&D modules from 5th edition, some 4th edition, some third-party content, and I just grab whatever I see and whatever I like and tailor it to my own wishes, and then I throw it at my party, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I run a bi-weekly campaign now, and it's very easy due to the COVID crisis to get my party all together. So we're running it bi-weekly now, and it's a lot of fun. I have 6 players in my campaign now, or 7 players, I forget. Yeah. No, 7 players in my campaign now. And it's just awesome to do. I love DMing. I love it even more than playing a character. Although Voidcast really is an opportunity to explore more of my role playing skills, because I played Wolfguard in your campaign for 8 years, and it's a totally different character from what I do now with Thomas and Gunther. And Wolfguard is part of me, so I can play Wolfguard instantly, but Thomas was really something I had to learn playing, and it's really cool. Awesome to explore.
Yeah.
And I do miss our campaign, Jasper's campaign, though. We've been playing it for 8 years, and still, the end is nowhere near in sight, so...
Slow leveling and stuff.
Yeah, slow leveling and stuff, but awesome to play.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Roger is running his futuristic campaign, which came out of a fantasy campaign in which I was a player again, and Misha was a player as well, and Jim was a player as well, and Jin is also playing in his futuristic campaign. So that comes full circle in a way. And then now Michel's here again, and he's a dungeon master to his kids and some guys and girls maybe in Ghent in Belgium. So And to answer Michel's question, yes, you play the Void Gatherer, but in 3.5 there were a couple of different classes instead of one class with different subclasses. So now you have the Void Disciple, and that has 6 subclasses that I developed, and they are the Adept, the Gatherer, the Siphon, the Hollow, the Empty, and the Husk. Well, you can now guess which one I am.
I play the Husk.
You play the Husk, yeah. And Bowen has all 6. No, I have just the one.
Looks like it.
The Hollow, yeah. And which made for a great thing like Hollowin. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's going really off topic, I think, but at the same time, it's a question you've been asking. So, hope that answered your question, Careful Cantrip. And hopefully answered some of your questions as well, Erik and Michelle, in a way. So... well, it was an awesome session. I would recommend. Well, I wanted to tell my experience as Bowen in the last scene of the previous session was great. It was so lonely, such a lonely feeling, and I loved how that made me feel. But I was in awe of all the things that came before me and came after me as well. So I really had the goosebumps at every turn. And the most funny thing is that for some reason I was so in awe of what he was saying that I didn't realize that I would be drinking blood at first at a certain point. And then I discovered that there is a line in the sand for Bowen. He can eat raw caterpillars, live caterpillars, but drinking blood is too much.
Yeah.
Only when it's functional, I think.
There's one thing though, we all broke down except for Solwing.
He broke down as well.
No, he got stuck, but he didn't break down.
He was in total panic.
Yeah, okay, he wasn't panic.
Yeah. But I think we discussed this as well, that his panic wasn't because of what the guy was saying, but when he found out that he couldn't fly away and help his friends. And that was pretty awesome as well. Yeah.
I really love the character. I really love Solwing. It's such an awesome character.
Yeah. So what moment in the episode gave you the chills the most? I think that has to do with Thomas, though. Strangely enough. Yeah, because in a way that became so realistic. And I think that, it's like Pan's Labyrinth, which is a scary movie, but the scariest thing is the interaction with the Nazi and the girl.
Yeah.
It's not the monsters. And that's what happened here as well. It was the most real experience of them all, in a way. And that scares me the most.
Okay,
yeah.
Oh wow, thank you. Yeah.
Really
loved playing that scene. For me, it was I do think the Solwing encounter. Jin really played it well, and he really stood his own ground, like I said. Well, until he got stuck and he couldn't help us. But I really loved the fact that we were all assaulted by memories, and Jin was assaulted by the realization of the fact that he couldn't help his friends in the moment, and it really stuck in here. I really loved that scene.
Solwing is the odd one out because he's the most normal one.
Yeah, the bird
experiences
person
are always a bit different than ours, and I love that about it.
Yeah.
So Careful Cantrip says, "I love how much D&D all of you are involved in. It really shows in your experiences." Thank you, and I think that's true. In a way.
Yeah, we're growing old, man. A lot of experience.
One of our first text lines we were going to use was like, "Together we have more than 100 years of experience." But we thought that was really tacky and like this, and we're not like that. So, as of last Sunday, I played in a Theros campaign DM'd by Ashley, and Ashley said, "Yeah, that's cool." Ashley said it's infectious role, even set Discord up for more games. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Wow. For the same moment as Jasper, says Michelle. So the Thomas thing really made an impact. Ashley says again, "I loved how Solwing seems so pure. He was able to resist."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my thoughts exactly. Solwing is just an awesome character.
Yeah.
I think he is the most steady of us all, and he will get us through this adventure.
Yeah, I think he's kind of the character that at the decisive moment does just the right thing, and I think that was pretty cool of him as well when he at the end in this case, when I don't know how he does that, but Roger starts talking about this other Averin that's standing next to him and says things in this scary voice, and then he just addresses him very casual as the harbinger, and makes it so logical that conversation is taking place. I love how he makes that switch in when he's role playing. He's always done that pretty well, I think, reacting in a very casual but serious way, as I know him of his other character that I played along with. He does that pretty well. Yeah. So, awesome. There's a lot of discussion around this topic, but I think a good session.
It was a very good session. I'm looking very much forward to the next session.
I can't wait. I simply can't wait.
Yeah. And I drew a lot of shit for. A lot of stuff for Roger. So.
What's with the ass and the thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having a swearing day, I think.
Okay. That's
just
okay then.
just bleep me away in post post edit.
Oh, and post edit. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the main topic of the evening, right?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So the topic is, what was the experience that made you never want to quit playing Dungeons and Dragons?
I always want to quit playing Dungeons and Dragons, but you guys won't let me.
Well, that's funny that you're saying that, because I can immediately react to that one, because I have this mind that works that way. And one of the comments I got was, it's not so much that I want to continue playing, but dreading not being able to play scares me more. That's a really strange thing. It was something in the lines of that one. But and I thought, well, okay, you might have a problem or not, or you're just a very sarcastic person, which I love. So I didn't include that one because I think it was a bit, in a way, dark and depressing. But anyway, yeah.
You guys just hold me hostage. I must play D&D forever.
Yes, we do.
But what was your what is your experience that made you never quit playing D&D? Let's direct the question towards you, because I would really like to find out what makes.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or
well,
sorry,
it's
isn't
a
that
couple
part of
of
the
things.
show?
No. Thank you for the question, dear host. I think that still, I think this is a pretty comprehensive episode that we're doing right now. I think the English is on par, as far as we can do our English. Well, now I'm breaking down. Now I'm breaking down.
We are talking very good English. We are talking very good English,
each other again.
Yes, hey.
Yeah.
But Jasper, can you tell me what is your favorite moment? Hey?
Oh man. Well, the experience that never wanted to make me quit Dungeons and Dragons, I think, is the first session I ever played, which was, well, I've told this story before because I was 11 and I got the red box, and then I didn't think much of it because it just had these 4 booklets and 6 dice in them. But then I had nothing to read, and then so I started reading it. It was in Dutch, by the way, the new box set. And then my father made an adventure for me where I played Torgal Takam. Well, I think he was just called Torgal then. A dwarf, because in that edition of Dungeons and Dragons you just had dwarf, elf, halfling, and now fighter, clerk, thief, wizard. Yeah. And those last 4 were all human, and the other 3 were species that also had kind of magical abilities or fighter kind of abilities, were a bit of a mix. And I played this dwarf, and I don't even know how it really started, but I had to get something out of a castle, and I knew that the person who owned the castle was away, and I found a secret entrance, and I went through a tunnel upwards, and there was an owl bear in the corner, which attacked me. And I think my father didn't really realize how powerful an owl bear was, to put it against a single first level character, when characters were even less strong than they are now at first level. But I somehow survived that because I ran away, and I ran upwards, and I got into the castle, and I was really sneaking through this castle. And my father is a great drawer of maps, so everything was perfect. I got it from somewhere, right? And I got to the top of the castle. I investigated a chest, and for some reason I either got to the what's it called, like the behind the kantelen, the
ramparts.
The ramparts, and I looked over the valley that was there, and I saw the lord of the castle returning, and it scared the hell out of me, and I just ran down, went through the same tunnel, and left the castle alone after that. That was my first experience, and it was so awesome. But then I was 11, and he couldn't be DMing, so I played with a couple of friends, and I became the dungeon master, but it was really silly because he misinterpreted some of the rules, but it was fun at the same time. and then at this point you had we were still children, so more and more people were DMing, and we had these grid papers filled up with dungeons every corner drawn in, and then for some reason it became the most popular if you had the highest treasure count in your dungeon. So 1 million gold, 2 million gold, 10 million platinum, which was really ridiculous because we had this kind of chart where we could buy a rope for 10 gold pieces, so you couldn't really do that much with it. But we designed our own 3rd and 5th and 4th up to 10th level spells, I think.
Oh, wow.
And it was really fun. But then that stopped when we went to middle school. And then when I was 15, this guy... Well, I had a couple of bicycle holidays where we played with D6s and tried stuff again, which was fun. But it really kicked in when this new guy came to our school and he said he would be interested into playing. And then we have had a group for life since then. Okay. And well, then we straight go to the topic where it's friendship. Friendship is what makes me want to play again and again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, friendship is very important. Is a very important factor for D&D. I can't play D&D with total strangers. I have I've thought about joining a couple of online campaigns, but every time I just think, I just want to experience this with my friends, and I think that's one of the most important things in D&D. But I really love the unlimited potential that you have with D&D. You can go, you can have unlimited adventures. It's a game without borders. It's a game without limitations. You can make up stuff that you want. You can take your friends all over the world, or all over the galaxy, for that instance. It's
other planes, even
other planes, hell, heaven. You can do space adventures. You can do medieval adventures. You can do, if you want, cyberpunk adventures with just a little tweaking of the rules. It's a limitless game, and that's what I love about D&D. I play a lot of board games. I have played Warhammer for a long time, a very, very long time. I think 20 years or something like that. Really love the miniatures and all, but the thing is, if you play Warhammer, you have a couple of armies and you collect those armies, and well, you finish those armies, and then you go to the battlefield, and you do the same stuff over and over again, because some tactics work and some tactics don't work, and you really you have to buy more to experience more. And with D&D, you just need the player's handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual, and those are the 3 books you need, and you're set for life. And that's so awesome about the game. The only limitation is yourself, and I really love exploring my limits and verleggen van grenzen. What's it called in English? We were just saying that our English was on par today. It was on par. Jolly good. But
well, keep on challenging yourself.
I like to keep on challenging myself, and that's the thing I love about D&D. I always experience new things, and I always create new stuff, and I can keep creating new stuff with my own character or with my own campaigns. And that's really the main thing I want to play D&D, next to the awesome friendships and the hours of laughing and having fun with friends.
No, I just like the laughing. I want it to be serious.
I know. I make every campaign a comedy campaign.
In a way, I have come to accept that. No, it's okay.
You really didn't like it in the beginning, I think.
I like laughing, but I think there are these moments in a game where you just have to shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, I really loved. We played this backstory of a character that Jasper introduced. It was a friend of ours, Paul. He was going to play, I think, a monk in our campaign, and Jasper had a backstory, and he said, "Yeah, well, I'm going to give you all monk characters, and well, you play a dwarf, you play that, and you play that, and you play that." And yeah, just play those characters for a couple of sessions to play Paul's backstory, and so we can, yeah, Paul can have a successful backstory. So,
Because he came in like 8 years later, you know.
yeah, 8 years after we were playing for 8 years at that point, and yeah, I couldn't help myself. So my dwarf character had this voice because it was a eunuch.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh.
My dwarf character was a eunuch because his parents thought that he was supposed to be a eunuch when he went into the monk temple, but afterwards, yeah, he didn't. He didn't have to be a eunuch. So yeah, he discovered it wasn't necessary, and then he just smoked cigarettes all day just to lower his voice, but to no avail. So.
Yeah. So
the first time I opened my mouth,
I can cope with that, you know. But it's the stuff where, you know, there's drama and then somebody keeps laughing. That's a bit hard to play through.
Yeah, but the first time I opened my mouth with my dwarf character, I saw you die a little inside.
Well, that's okay as well. Let's go to some answers, right, from the community. Maybe that's a good idea as well.
Well, an hour in the show and we have to answer questions? What is
strange? Yeah. So I hope some of them are watching. We'll see. First answers. Zachary says, going a year without being able to play. That's what makes you never want to quit playing D&D. Going without me. Well, I can imagine. Right?
Yeah, I can imagine. No, well, I can't imagine, but because I've been playing for years on end now, so.
But it could be really frustrating if you just couldn't play anymore, right?
Yeah. Well, the first time I played D&D I was 16, and we played once every month, and then once every couple of months, and then once every half year, and it really got frustrating to wait that amount of time for the next session, and we kept forgetting where we were in the adventure, and the DM did his best to organize a session where we could all participate, but it finally bled out, and it was really frustrating. But because the adventure was so awesome, so yeah, a year without D&D, that must be horrible.
Yeah, so I have this conversation over Facebook with one of our fans who lives in Australia, so he can never be on our live shows, which is. For us, almost always happens with Careful Cantrip, which is in like 2:30 in the night, which I really regret. And he was telling me that he had finally had another Dungeons and Dragons session again after a very long wait, and then the day came and they cancelled it again. And he was so down about it. And I can
was he down under about it?
Yeah, well,
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a very bad joke.
Yeah. Well, you're Erik, so
yeah,
no one blames you really. It's just your normal mode of operation and stuff. And I really felt for him, you know, because yeah, that just sucks. Finally get able to play after like 3/4 of a year without playing, and on the day itself, nothing happens.
Yeah, I really love these. Hate the last minute cancellations.
Yeah, me as well. Although it's starting to be less frustrating now. Well, anyway, the other one is Gus says, when Kumquat became the campaign slogan because it was what my insane necromancer would yell during any major events. Kumquat.
Okay.
I always start with the funny ones, although the first one wasn't funny. But, well, in a more cynical way it was, I think. But yeah, okay.
Kumquat.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway. So enough about
But
those.
it became the campaign slogan. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a major event. We'll
Yeah.
be having one of those later on as well, but then in another kind of context, which was really funny as well.
Yeah, it's so bizarre how some things that are that seem so minute end up being a driving force behind a campaign. I watched Penny Arcade with Acquisitions Incorporated a lot, and I remember the first sessions where Jim Dark Magic was invented, the name, and they all had a laugh about it, and now it's one of the most famous D&D characters of all time. And
because it's called Dark
the
Magic.
name Acquisitions Incorporated was invented on the spot, and they really had a laugh about it then. And now they have a campaign book printed and an official campaign book printed, so it's D&D lore now. It's so bizarre how the most funny things in sessions can become such an integral part of a campaign.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like a running joke, running gag, but serious at the same time because you will remember it afterwards. As he says, we always, at least quoting me, we always start with the funny ones, but the first one wasn't funny. That is the funniest sentence of this bit. Yeah.
Okay.
And him meeting his family was one of the best D&D things I ever saw. Yeah, it was funny. The Dark Magic family.
The Dark Percival Dark Magic, I think, was his brother, and there was a sister also, and they were incestuous twins. I think it was. I really loved the campaign.
Yeah, and that was before it all became very big, you know. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Andrew says, when I played Dungeons and Dragons First Edition for the first time in junior high, I was hooked.
First edition, wow.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, you can still remember.
I can still remember. Well, I'm not that old. Sorry.
I wasn't even born. D&D First Edition. Wow,
D&D first. No, D&D First Edition. Yeah. So there were a couple of answers that summarized this feeling in the same way. There are kind of a lot of oldies out there who still remember those days fondly and are still active players. So yeah, I thought I had to include this one because when you've been playing for such a long time, then it's really awesome. And I think, you know, I've only been playing for 28 years. I hope I have a lot of life left in me. Dubious at some points, but
28 years.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
I was 8 at the time. Okay.
Well, I was 11, so it's not that much of a difference.
We are talking about what experience made you never want to quit playing D&D. So you have a lot of experience with previous editions, and we will not go into that in any length. But what is your favorite edition so far? And Chet, what is your favorite edition so far? That's also a question.
Yeah. Okay. So. I think I have to say it's 5th edition, but it's because of the editions that went before it that it is the best edition in a way. And there is one thing that I really don't like about 5th edition that wasn't in, for example, 3rd edition or even 4th edition, and especially not in 2nd edition. But 2nd edition was so complicated with so many charts that all went a different way. There was no consistency in ability scores or in any check. And to hit armor class 0 is a perfect example of that, where you have to really reverse think your way to what armor class you are going to hit, and a negative armor class is a good armor class and stuff. And then you had 3rd edition that came as a godsend in some ways, where you just needed to get higher up, and then it was better. But it had a bit of, it went everywhere. You know, there were so many options that it took over the free thinking minds of people, I think.
Yeah.
And then you had 4th edition, which was so congested, and at the same time, it had ritual casting, which I think is one of the best inventions that Fourth brought with it. And I think that in a way, learning from mistakes, and I'm saying this loosely because I know you like fourth edition, and there are people who like it as well. But I think that as a total Dungeons and Dragons concept, it was a misser. But not as far as strategical combat, for example. Then you can easily use it, and there were some good parts in it. But ritual casting, and then you have fifth edition that combines this sense of where you can say. Well, I don't know, but roll me a strength check. Let's see what happens. And natural one is a result as well. And all these things that have become quite normal, that has, is really good.
Yeah.
Then you might ask, what is the aspect I don't like about 5th edition?
Yeah.
That's the front-loaded damage. And the fact that there's no consequence for moving during your turn in relation to your attacks and everything, because that really makes it hard for dungeon masters to stretch out the power level, because you want to have the boss at the end. But if damage is so front loaded, of course you can teach your characters to keep their best spells for later encounters on the same day, but it's not you often don't know if you're going to have more than one encounter. Sometimes you do, but most often you don't. Then you have you come to the final boss with your lesser spells still active, and you've spent all your stupid stuff, and then that's the only aspect I like less. You can cultivate a party where this is less of a problem. But I think that was what was tackled really well in 3rd edition. And although I think it's complicated with combining a move action with an action and making it a full round action, and then you can only do a 5-foot step, but then you have all your attacks. I think that that was a really great rule, although sometimes a bit convoluted on itself.
Yeah, because if we talk about experience that made me never want to quit playing D&D, 3rd edition almost made me want to quit D&D because I really, really dislike 3rd edition.
That's so funny.
I can't wrap my hand around the rules, and I have all kinds of games, all kinds of rule books, and still 3rd edition. I've played 3rd edition or 3.5 to be more exact, 4th edition and 5th edition. And 3rd edition is the only of the editions that I can't wrap my head around the rules. They just won't stick in there. So when we switched over to 5th edition, it was a godsend, because I really loved 5th edition, the way the rules play out and the way the rules are explained, and the flow of the game. I really love the ease by which you can play the game, and that really made me rekindle my love for D&D. With 3rd edition, I loved playing in your campaign, and that was the only reason I kept playing, because 3rd edition is, I think it's a monstrosity amongst D&D rule books, but well, that's my personal opinion. I think a lot of people will disagree with me.
It's hard to manage, but
it's very hard to manage.
Still, in a way, I have a good feeling for balance in that one.
That's the thing I don't like about 5th edition, the balancing encounters. As a DM, it's really a hell to do, because some encounters that seem very easy in your mind end up almost killing the entire party, and other encounters that should be hard as nails, the party just wades through it like the enemies are made of paper mache, and it's so hard to do, to make good encounters, and especially because the Monster Manual and the Dungeon Master's Guide aren't very good in explaining how to balance your encounters. But because I tried the rules in both those books, and it just don't work.
No, it's true. It's not really accurate, so to say.
But
Oh,
if you say
that was kind of a
experience,
rant of the
yeah.
both of us, I think. So
Sorry,
no,
everyone in
it's
chat.
okay. No, it's the same for me. I think it's interesting to always keep discussing this because I really like that you dislike third edition and Dungeons and Dragons because
Yeah.
that still really amazes me. As Michel's saying in chat, that's so funny because third edition made me understand fifth edition pretty quickly, and yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing I have to say about it, I played the character for 6 years and I still didn't understand the character in third edition. So
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was pretty strange as well. Anyway, every time we find some, Eden says, Eden, I don't know. Every time we find some strange temple or statue or monolithic thing and we don't know what to do, then time passes and we discover what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine that being a thing that makes you never want to quit playing Dungeons and Dragons, because that's pretty cool. And I like this thing where you don't immediately have a solution for a thing that you encounter as well. But you can just wake up one morning and think, oh, of course, this is the answer, for example.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is with these examples, or at least the second one, you know, it differs quite a lot for people what makes them come into Dungeons and Dragons. And I hope I did a good job of combining these things. Although Eden is the first one who talks about things that happen in the game. But for example, Andrew talks about picking up the book, you know, and other people, the persons before this, one says going a year without playing. Well, everybody has a different kind of thing that draws them in.
Yeah.
So, for example, Jake says, I played an epic level clerk in a campaign in high school. We marched into an underground city of undead and I toasted a lot of those abominations with a well-timed sunburst, 8th level spell. So for some people, it's the most epic moments that makes them never want to quit again. For others, it's the experience.
Yeah, and I heard a couple of other channels talk about this as well. Matt Colville for
there
once.
Are other channels doing this? What are you saying?
Okay, but other people are talking about this as well. When you play D&D and you talk about it on parties with friends who also play D&D, you always talk about. You never talk about, we had this one game and then we did that, and you always, oh, well, and I cast fireball at that moment, and all the undead. You always explain things like it's you have experienced them yourself, and that's so awesome about this game.
Yeah, because the memories are real, and that's so fun about this game. The memories are real. Yeah. You haven't gone through the actions yourself, but the memories of what happened are real. Yeah. And that's so cool. Yeah.
I've played Warhammer for 20 years, and I can remember, I think, 3 or 4 moments during the game that really stuck with me. But almost all of the 8 years we've been playing D&D in your campaign, or now the entire other campaign with Voidcast, I can almost pick any moment during one of these campaigns, and I can tell about them in detail, and that's so bizarre.
Yeah,
how it gets ingrained in your memory.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's one of the aspects I love. But it's a funny thing, right? Because I can say what really drew me and never made me want to quit is that first experience with my father, and then the other one is when I met some friends who I still consider to be my friends. And then again, if you're saying something like this, those moments that you really can reproduce like you lived them is another aspect of it as well for me. Yeah. Andrew says, but it's another Andrew, because for some reason a lot of people who play D&D are called Andrew. I think I've met 7 different Andrews who answered my questions by now. They are never the same Andrew. So that's why I told another one. Besides all of it, it would be when my fellow Warforged cleric rode an ancient copper dragon with extreme short-term memory loss out of a cave while rolling several high athletics checks. We made an allied ancient copper dragon at level 3. We became level 10 immediately.
Wow, that sounds like such an epic encounter.
Yeah.
But how does the memory loss play in this?
I don't know.
Is the Warforged cleric with memory loss or the copper dragon?
Yeah, I don't know as well. I didn't get a chance to get that answer, so we have to wait for that, I guess. Maybe in the comments on YouTube or something. But the funniest part, I think, is that the thing that says the most, I think, is the fact that they felt they did something really impressive and got rewarded 7 levels, and that's totally okay.
Yeah, that's totally awesome.
Yeah.
I never reward my players with levels. They have to fight for it.
Yeah, that's another thing, doing experience versus milestones. I have become a milestone DM all the way.
Yeah, milestone. Sometimes they get a level without ever touching an enemy with a sword, just because of awesome role-playing.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it as well. But I've always... and it has never been a problem, because you could imagine players wanting to go into that side cavern to kill another few goblins to gain a couple of more experience so they would level faster.
Mm-hmm.
And now they are suddenly not doing this anymore because they know I'm using milestones. That's not happening.
No.
Everything is story driven, everything is role playing, and everything is about experiencing this thing together. It's never about not doing or doing something because of either, well, it doesn't matter, we're not getting XP for it anyway, or it matters because we're getting XP for it. And that's what I love. When you have found your group and you can play without these kinds of thoughts, I think that that you're really set for life in a way.
Yeah, I am a very impatient person myself, and when I DM in my campaigns, it only takes about 3 or 4 sessions at most when I give another level to my players. I do pair it with an awesome encounter or an end boss or something awesome that they experience. But yeah, most of the times I hand out levels. Every 3, 4, maybe 5 sessions, because I really want them to experience all those levels, because my campaigns most of the times run about 2 years and then they crash and die. That's just the nature of my campaigns. I'm sorry, guys. And I want them to experience as much of D&D as possible. So I hand out these levels because they really get more out of the characters than they would have in my short-lived campaigns.
So chat is doing stuff as well. We were talking.
Oh, hey, chat! Wow.
Figure out what to do, or spend 3 hours debating about it, and the DM just waiting for them. That's an experience, truly.
Yeah, that's a very good experience.
Ashley says, I wonder if it is because Warhammer is introverted and D&D is extroverted. You remember the people and the conversation more than the internal game. Well, I think that there you might be wrong, Ashley, for once, sorry to say. Because I think it's Dungeons and Dragons is very much a game for introverted people as well.
Yeah, I have.
And
I think
my experience with Warhammer is far more extroverted, in a sense.
No, I do think they serve.
It can be extroverted as well. Sorry, I have to put it that way. Yeah.
They do serve the same communities, because almost all of the people I've been playing Warhammer with in the past are now playing role-playing games. So yeah, both communities are almost the same, and I do speak sometimes to. I sometimes speak to the old Warhammer crew. I know a couple of those guys. and they all dabbled in role-playing games as well, next to Warhammer. So I do think the communities are much alike.
Yeah, no,
But that's my experience with it. That's not my.
yeah. So sorry, actually, wrong might be a harsh word in this because I'm not. Well, you know what I mean with it, but because we are never wrong, we're always right together. But
Jasper does not like your question, eh?
But well, I have this player at my table, and he knows who he is, and he's quite silent, and he doesn't talk a lot. It's not you, Erik. You talk a lot, and at the table less, I think. But
I talk a lot less at the table. Yeah.
yeah, but he's sitting there and he's really absorbing the story, and he's the player who, after the show, after the session has ended, keeps on WhatsApping me and saying what he thinks of certain things and making connections with previous adventures that he was in and stuff. And he's just enjoying the game in silence with friends, really introverted in a way. And I love that. And he loves it as well. Warhammer games are one-on-one for the most part, is what I meant. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. But you have never. But I have always also stood in games workshops, playing large-ass games. Large. Damn, it would be a lot of editing. Sorry, Michelle. Large games with 10 people on one side and 10 people on the other side screaming walk at each other, and it can be a community game as well. It's not just the one-on-one things. I've played a lot of epic level games. What were they called again? Yeah, well, the I think Armageddon games. I think they were called. Yeah, you just smack down everything you have on the table, and everybody does the same, and then you have a whole weekend of playing, and with a couple of friends. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's most of the times it's a one-on-one game.
True. Yeah. I've only done a single one-on-one campaign in Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
It was fun though. It was with Roger actually, so he was the player, I was the dungeon master.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I've never done a one-on-one session as a DM.
No, it's cool. It's different. You have to think really fast as a dungeon master because the only thing that they interact with is you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, other type of sport. Is Michel saying he's going to sleep? I don't know for certain.
Warhammer.
Let's go to the next one. Right?
Yeah, let's go to the next one. We still have 27 to go. So
yeah. Russell says, knowing that my tiefling barbarian will be in jail and no one coming for him. That was my first character.
Okay, well,
but that made him never want to quit Dungeons and Dragons, and I can imagine this because that is a harsh feeling, and it might have been very real in a sense for this person, right?
Yeah, but if they are playing in the same campaign world, he can always try to break him out with this new character. So I
think that if you have a dungeon master this be the end of your character, then he's all for realism. And if you have no goal with your secondary character to even be in the vicinity of this character, then this will never happen. And this is the ending of your barbarian that just dies in his cell. I would love that happening to one of my characters, actually.
Roger, if you're watching...
Uh-oh. And the other one on this tab is Stefan says, the roll of the dice. You can have an amazing character rolled and still do terribly. In the end, it's a game of fun and chance. Yeah. So that's another approach again, you know. The one's really deep and dark. This one is lighthearted and fun. And I agree as well. Yeah. See, we can all agree on stuff.
Yeah, let's not go into the discussion character with pre-made stats or rolling for stats, because that's a whole other discussion, I think. Because rolling up a character, that's what he says, right?
No,
Roll dice.
that's not the roll of the dice. You can have an amazing character
yeah,
build
okay,
and still do terribly. Because so it's more like what he's saying. If you roll a natural 1, doesn't matter how strong you are. The game is going quite a different way. And
Okay, let's go to the next question.
Yes, we're going through them like mad. So these are 2 from the Dutch 20 community, which I thought was funny because Allard was on our show last time, of course, and he says, absolutely the friendships I've made, but all the strange and funny things that happen, You can spend a whole session preparing for a certain thing with your party, only to see it totally fail when someone rolls a natural 1.
Yep.
Yeah, so that in continuation of what Stefan said before this, that really screws things up. And yet it propels your story towards another goal, and so the game has never failed. It just goes into another direction.
I love the natural ones because they give new challenges to the game.
Yeah, well, Bo and Goodhart had the best natural ones, I think, ever. Because they were both on cooking skills when he was feeling down.
Yep.
And Nikki says, it is the only hobby where you can really tell a collaborative story. Different games all have their own mechanics, but it's always about yes and. As soon as artificial intelligence becomes good enough, I will exchange my players for that. Well, kind of a solo player, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So that was a kind of a dark and twisted ending, though, to a very nice answer.
Yeah. Well, I've read a couple of things by Nikki, and I think that the answers are intended as fun, but with a serious undertone.
Yeah. Well, I really love the second part of the answer, though.
Can you imagine? Well, I can imagine, but I don't think it will ever replace. Oh, now I'm feeling like I'm 80 years old and really thinking that something will never replace the experience with another person. But I'm guessing it will not, though. I'm hoping it will not replace the experience with playing with another person. At the moment, that is 2 hours of... Is this a zebra crossing? Okay. I've been missing some context, I think.
Je ne sais pas.
This is a zebra crossing. You have to explain, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the questions.
Keltoy says, the feeling of belonging where I had none before. The feeling that for once my creativity will add to others' lives as well as my own.
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful answer.
Yeah. Now we're getting into the soft bits. Because, well, I've changed it a bit. I've done serious and less serious things intermixed, as you might have noticed. But this one, these kinds of things always get to me.
Yeah, you're not going to cry again, huh?
Yes, I'm going to cry again. Because what they're saying.
I will not partake in it.
Want a hug?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Thank God for COVID.
Well, now he has to take something out of this video. I think you can say social isolation.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, for the not hugging part. Man, I hate hugging.
And Marissa says, the first time I ever played, I was so shy and not at all understanding of what was coming my way. But the DM and my companions were all so kind, not to forget talented. And that's when I got sucked into the story and became hooked. Still, I thank the gods daily for my awesome group and Dungeon Master.
Awesome.
Yeah, so 2 of the same kind in this case, and I think that tells a story. Yeah. We have seen the in-game things, we've seen the funny things, we have seen the the sarcastic things, and now we're getting to some feely things. I think I'm gonna break with that on the next one. Because you know what's going to happen now. We're going to Brandon. But do you know what's funny about Brandon? No, you don't know yet.
No, I don't know yet, but you will tell me, right?
Yes, I will tell you. In time. Brandon says, I think mine would have to be my 16th birthday. I was kind of down because all my friends said they were busy, so I couldn't hang out with my friends on my birthday. I had asked all my D&D buddies to do a one-shot, but no one was available. So I hit the hay early.
Oh, wow. That's a very sad story.
Yeah, but do you know why it's not?
Because they had a surprise party?
Because there's a big answers part to this one. Yes, Here we go. And woke up to 3 of my friends standing over me, Bravo 6 style, lol. They informed me I was being kidnapped and I jumped into the car and we headed to my friend Jacob's house where everyone was waiting for the surprise one-shot. A few had also called in sick to work and a couple got off early. A little later the last guy to show up came down the stairs with a cake in his hands and making fire noises because he couldn't find a lighter, lol. That one shot turned into a full 1 year of a half campaign and solidified my love for Dungeons and Dragons and some of my closest friends I still have to this day.
Wow, that's such an awesome experience.
Yeah,
I really thought about doing one shot during my birthday though.
When's your birthday again?
In 2 weeks, so.
Who knows?
No, but
you can't come and kidnap you.
Yeah, no, you're not going to kidnap me. But one shot during a birthday, and this level of commitment that those friends just showed is just awesome.
Yeah, I have to react a bit to Careful Cantrip. Another great stream, gentlemen. Unfortunately, I have to run, but can't wait to have Jasper on Jasper. Heard me saying Jasper? That's strange. Jasper on the show on Sunday. We'll be there. I'm going to love it. See you there.
Yeah, good luck, Careful Cantrip. Next Sunday. You're going to need it with Jasper.
Who knows, right? And Ashley says, am I going to cry now? Not yet, but you are going to cry on the next one. And I'm not even joking. No. I'm not even joking.
No, we're not going to cry. Come on.
Yeah. Where this is like the hype of good stuff. The next one really got to me. So I am serious about this one.
If you want, I can read it
on this as well because. Or wait, no, it's not the next one. It's the one after that. Sorry. First, we're going to a funny one, I think, but a seriously funny one, and it's another big answer one as well. M says Fireball. I built an eager, impulsive and naive wild magic sorcerer whose magic was all fire-based. She hadn't been able to do anything helpful for the whole dungeon, but always said, I know Fireball, to which the rest of the party said no. Well, a couple of bands of bandits lead us into this big room with a throne thing with snakes. What does Lassie do? She immediately sits on the throne, gets bitten by the snakes and takes about 40 poison damage. From full health, nearly insta-kills. Then the fight starts. The cleric's about halfway down the initiative order. He does a few things, then ends his turn with, and I shout Fireball, and that will be my healing word. Lassie gets about 5 hit points back, 2 fireballs later, and all the bandits are dead. Of course, the next room has a chest with a heart in it that Lassie tried to attune to.
Wow. Fireball, it's one of the most awesome spells ever. And they even made it into a song.
I don't know. Is that Fireball? I don't know.
Fireball.
Fireball.
Yeah, sorry, we couldn't sing on stream, said Michelle last time. So.
But is that true? I don't think it's true.
Yeah, it's copyright infringement and those kind of things. So.
Nah.
As long as you keep it within 5 seconds. Is that 5? Oh, sorry. That's
okay. Anyway, I love this comment because this has a lot of other things that happened before this because it has bonding, it has an awesome. What was it again? Kind of. Let me see. Kumquat. There to it, and well, it is a funny answer in general, and it's serious at the same time, and makes for memories and everything. Yeah.
But this is an awesome memory. We'll be talking about this in 20 years when you meet your friends again at a party and you say, "Oh, you remember that time when I did the fireball thing?"
Yeah. Now that's a meme. Anyway, yeah. So now we're going to the one that got to me. Sorry for that.
I'm not.
And we're first going to the. It's worth a big answer screen, I think. Yeah, it's
manly tales have been shed.
Now here we go. No, but I mean it. So pay attention, Erik.
Okay.
Mintok says, when I was 15, a good friend of mine who was in my group had his father die. We brought the group together at his house and we spent all 5 days living there, doing nothing but gaming and sleeping. At the end of those 5 days, his mother came and thanked us for helping him get over the initial shock and for showing him that he has real friends who truly cared about him. I saw then what D&D can and should be and have never looked back.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that is a beautiful answer.
Yeah, and it gets to me for a certain other reason as well, because we had this... how should I put this? Someone died when we were still teenagers, I think. Just teenagers, and someone died within... Well, not... well... I'm not going to too much into detail because I think that's up to that person if he ever wants to talk about it, but or them really. But someone died close to some of us, or most of us in a way, and there was a lot of sadness in our group at that point because we couldn't believe what had happened. It was a young person, and so we played Dungeons and Dragons a lot. Like a lot at that moment. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe it wasn't a lot, but it felt like a lot. And it felt like a good portion of what we did at that time. And I remember this strange feeling when we were playing at a friend's house and I was the dungeon master and we just kept on playing. Don't even know if it was a one-shot or a continuation of our big adventure. And... we laughed and we heard and we had our anxious moments in the game and drank our apple juice, so to say, and really had a wonderful time. But at these certain points, you looked at each other and you were thinking, can we even do this or something? You know, because this big loss was... with us as a backdrop to what we were doing. And I remember that we were really into this groove of playing, and then a father of one of the people came in, and we were so at least I was so aware of that we were laughing and having fun in a way, in a very meditative way, and he just came in and there was a big disconnect at that point.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and it was awesome and it was sad at the same time, and it wasn't inappropriate because it was appropriate, but it is so many conflicting emotions in such a state. And when I saw this, I commented on him that I could totally understand what he meant, because these things happen.
Yeah, these things do happen, and especially with games that run for years on end, like your campaign or other campaigns. yeah, life goes on, and life is bound to happen to someone. And I do think that D&D groups offer support to each other that haven't seen in other gaming groups as of yet. And that's where we differ with the Warhammer group, for example.
Yeah.
You can really feel safe and respected within a group, within a D&D group, and you can share your. Well, that's been my experience. You can really share. You can feel sad without anyone judging you, or you can feel disappointed without anyone judging you, or you can feel grief without anyone judging you, and
Yeah.
just being there with your friends, sharing an experience with each other, can help you through a lot. And yeah, that's really awesome about the game. That's yeah,
Yeah, and the
it's
thing is
really.
that there are moments of growth in a way as well,
Mhm.
because I've learned to bond with my friends in a quite unique manner through this game
Mhm.
in several stages of my life. These past years, for example, with you, I consider you a very good friend by now. And but in all of these stages, you're growing up yourself as well, and you're experiencing new things.
Mhm.
I think in I don't even know where I was going to with this story, but oh yeah, I remember. It's that if you feel safe with your friends, and that works as well for other parts of your life.
Mhm.
That's why I literally have cried. I think about 2 or 3 times on the show by now, and I don't feel guilty about it at all, or stupid, or whatever emotions can come with that. I
Mhm.
because if it's real, it's real, um, and it's not because I want to share that experience or anything, but because it is an experience, and I think that that's why the session where Bowen was crying, and then
Mhm.
Solwing went to Audrey and said, I said to him that it is okay to cry, but is it? And then Audrey says something, if it's okay to laugh, then it's okay to cry. That really got to me right then, because, yeah, if it's okay to laugh, it's okay to cry. And we are laughing a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah, we are laughing a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, wanted to share that one with you all.
Yeah, very good pick.
Yeah. It is good you had something to fall into, says Ashley. The worst part of loss is the regret for feeling happy, as it can feel like losing someone all over again. The worst is seeing something funny and going to text them, then hating yourself for forgetting they will not answer. Then smile at the memory that they had the same sense of humor. It is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, that speaks of that might speak of a personal experience. That might
Mhm.
speak of something that really happened. And but what it truly speaks of is that we all have these experiences where we might even where we forget, but really don't ever forget. Uh, yeah, and it's a strange thing. I have kids, of course, and my daughter
Mhm.
is 6, and our cat died 1.5 years ago, and she's telling us that she is still missing that cat, and I don't even know if that is exactly true. But what is real is the emotions that come with it in children, like the experience. However, this triggered it triggers sadness in a
Yeah.
way, and
Yeah, but
uh, and
even losing a pet can be very traumatic. I still have dreams about my dog, which I had almost 15 or 16 years ago now,
yeah,
who died almost 15 or 16 years ago. And it still gets me when I wake up after dreaming about that dog. It still gets me.
yeah. But
Um,
some people tend to forget that this is part of it,
mhm.
and we really shouldn't, because you should experience that thing when you wake up,
Yeah. Right in the feels, man.
right in the feels. I love them feels, but not only because of the love for the feels, but because I think it really adds something, and I hope our viewers look at it that way as well. And I hope that if this person watches Talking Void on YouTube, we've done him or her honor. Right?
Yeah, of course, because it's a very hard thing to share, and it's a very beautiful thing to share at the same time.
Yeah. So let's go to the last one then, right? But first, before I do that, let's go to the small answer screen, because it fits in the small answer screen anyway, and go to the last one. Bob says, entirely cumulative. Every session I've played has left me wanting more.
Yeah, that sums it up quite nicely.
That's why it's the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My feelings exactly, because there isn't one thing I can pinpoint what makes me want to play this game. It's a lot of things that make me want to play this game, and makes me keep getting back to this game.
Yeah.
Or role-playing games in general, because I haven't only played D&D in my time, but
yeah. So, good last one, I guess. Does chat agree? Do you agree, chat? Or have I gone too far into the bleak things? Because for me, it feels... I like to wallow a bit.
I'm sweating up my eyes now.
Yeah. I have on Spotify. I have this list of that's simply called Melancholia, because they're all these songs are melancholy. And I just love to feel like I'm in a sense deprivation tank, and at the same time getting all these senses. Stimulate.
I'm the complete opposite of you in that way. I just have really, really bad music I listen to if I feel sad.
Yeah.
So I can sing along with awful tunes.
Yeah. Definitely. I have played to recapture feelings. I have played to explore new things. They were all amazing. Thanks. And good for you. Yeah. Yeah, so let's go to the last screen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely great. As always, such a wide repertoire of skills and emotions. Yeah, we do our best. On
that positive note, let's end this show.
Yeah. So let's go to the last screen, and that's where we will reveal what will be the topic when Mike will be on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, what is the silliest build you have ever made in a role-playing game?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I always try silly builds, but I always end up thinking, no, I'm stuck with this character. Let's make something awesome with this dude. Only the dwarf with his funny voice. That was my silliest build. Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't really silliest build. That was how you RP'd it. But it can be that either. The topic is open for discussion. Yeah, of course it was meant to be positive. We understand, Esner, because but we went into the cynical part of it, I think. But we understand, and I understand, especially, I think. Well, we both. Well, anyway, now it's getting complicated again. I think because I talked to Mike before this, of course, and he said that he had this example of a bugbear who has 10-foot reach when he does reaction attacks, I think, and then has a pole arm with the sentinel feet and everything. Then you get this really strange reactions that you can do within a 15-feet radius of your character. Such builds are a possibility, but having played silly things, done silly things with normal builds, I think is part of this. Is an answer to this question as well. So eager to see what will happen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait till next show, because I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to all the shows that are coming.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Really great shows happening, if I say so myself. Yeah, well, with that, for once, I don't feel like talking a lot after I've come to this point in the show. Just let it kind of end here.
Yeah.
We'll be on Sunday, 6 p.m. Central European time. I'll be on Careful Cantrip, so watch their Twitch channel. We will be hosting, but it's for support for their show. And we'll also, on Monday, we'll be doing the 19th episode of the Precipice of Dreams, which I think I'm most eager for. Then the Tuesday after that, we'll be continuing Jasper's Laboratory, and I think I'll be going to design a simple dungeon, but Jasper style.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So I'll be doing some drawing again, but I also let you see why I think caverns should be as they are. And the week after that, we do parallel projections again, and on the Tuesday, on Monday at 8:30, and then Tuesday will be the next Talking Voice, where we have Mike on our show. So,
awesome.
Big schedule. Great episode, guys. A wonderful evening, as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Ash.
Thanks for being in chat. Thanks for all of you being in chat. It's quite busy in chat.
Yeah.
Not all of... and I see someone in chat who might have the feels because what I've just said. So,
thanks everyone in chat. Thanks everyone who will be watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, and have a good evening. See you soonish. And now I forgot to put the outro at the ready. See you soonish. Goodbye.
Bye all.